Hello, everybody. We have Mintlodica here, and I am now streaming from my phone, by the way, because Roger's internet is doo-dooing. So I apologize if it's not 110% 1080p quality, guys. But how are you doing, Mintlodica?
Hi, thanks for having me. Doing all right.
Perfect. Chase, Space Cables, how are we doing today?
Awesome.
Pretty great.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
So, some of you guys might know Mintlodica from a Magic Girl. Some of you guys might know Mintlodica for some other stuff too. I think most recognizably Magic Girl, I'd say. What about you guys?
I mean, definitely Magic Girl, so
Yeah.
especially
Yes.
Reagan's got it in his hands. Yeah,
Yeah,
the round 2 that's out right now.
yeah. And is that still live? I believe so.
It
right?
is
It is.
until
Yeah.
December 4th.
There we go.
Hold up
So-
my board here.
Ooh.
Maybe people might know me from being an Ergonomics Dvorak typist.
Ooh.
Specifically that.
I don't know how you type on those things. I can barely type on the keyboards that are straight. Everything else, Alice keyboards, forget it. Those don't work for my fingers. The blessed board, is that the one that 50 Cent blessed?
Actually, it's not. I decided to send my blessed board to someone on my team at the key company. So, launch people have ever interacted with CS. He used to be the head of CS.
Oh, thank you.
Has my blessed board.
Oh.
Very proud of it. Happy to pass blessed along.
Mint volume's a bit high. Okay, one second. Let me change Mint's volume. You're gonna see my cursor, ignore it. Okay. We turned it down a little bit. Yeah. So I guess I want to know too. One thing we always ask everyone who kind of joins Keebcast is how did you get yourself started in keyboards?
Yeah. So the ergo docs I held up is why I work a lot, and I genuinely like working on things, which is why I get into a lot of messes. But some time ago, I hurt my wrist so badly that I had to go to physical therapy for it. It was actually pretty low-key embarrassing because you imagine this hand therapist, and there's like all these serious athletes, and they're like, I'll say, play some sport, or there's just like some epic competitor. I'm just like, I'm some nerd who worked too much on their keyboard in a bad posture, and that's why I'm here. So from there, I had to be more serious about my posture, and I started typing on split boards. I didn't actually start off on the Ergodocs I showed. I started on the Kinesis Freestyle. It's like the ugliest thing ever. It had MX Browns, of course, because everything has MX Browns. If you don't know what you're doing, and you just start off, and it worked. I was able to switch to Dvorak and a split layout, and then from there, I was like, this shit is cramping my style. Like, my desk is really cute and pastel, and there's this ugly Kinesis keyboard on it. So that's kind of how I got started into the whole, well, I'm gonna get a custom keyboard. Oh, I can't find the keycaps I quite want. I guess I have to go figure out how to make them. And I guess that's like the short version of that story.
You're a problem solver, it sounds like. You solved your own problem.
Yeah, I wanted this set because I actually didn't intend to even get this deep. Like, it was kind of an accident that so I ran Magic Girl round 1 last year in 2019 through the key company, and that was when I met Jason, who's the founder and CEO. I honestly thought we wouldn't get along because he has a way different background in mine. He's like, his aesthetic is like GMK Terminal and Skadata, so so it was kind of interesting when we met, and then we had like our first chat to figure out like, oh, should we run this thing? He was like, dude, your art is so dope. So from there, we just became not only business partners, but really good friends. So also how I ended up working with him to this day. I quit my tech job to work at the key company this past summer.
It's really cool. That's a big leap, huh?
It is a big leap. That is huge. Honestly, it's a leap that, honestly, I think anyone in any situation, not just keyboards, for doing something that's like a passion versus doing something that, leaving like a steady full-time 9-to-5 job, that's a huge leap. That's scary in a lot of ways too.
Yeah, I almost didn't do it because, like you said, it is scary. It was very unknown. I used to work in tech, which for folks who are not privy to like what the tech field is like, it's pretty lucrative, and you know, you gotta sit at home a lot, and I was a product designer and then a product design manager. So
Hmm.
it was like the kind of work that I shouldn't be complaining about, but like given my personality type, I just like was super bored designing UI. Like I don't really want to argue about where this button goes on the interface. I want to like think about other things.
Mm-hmm.
I can
What were
agree with
you
that.
kind of designing in particular?
So it's interesting because the trend in technology right now is to call it the product designers, but you're really just designing websites or apps. And like the ironic thing now is, of course, you know, keycaps, keyboards are actual physical products. So I think this is closer to product design than UI design
Tangible
ever
things,
was.
yeah.
Yeah, so it's kind of been an interesting shift.
But I think that's the fun part too, is shifting into something that maybe touches on part of what you used to do, because there is design obviously with keyboards and all that stuff. Like you said, you were looking for something more cute to go on your desk, something more your style.
Mm-hmm.
But I actually wanted to ask a question. You said you hurt your wrist with keyboards. Posture,
Mhm.
with I guess posture. You said more so, right?
Yeah. It's
Is there
kinda like-
something now, like besides using the Ergo keyboards and whatnot, is there something that you could tell other people that maybe you can now take from your experience with that? 'Cause I think posture is a really interesting thing, and I think even we were talking about this one time on my stream as well, with even with wrist rests and all that kind of what stuff too. It's what's good for your wrists, what's good for your posture, what's a healthy typing style. I think that's all very, very different talk from what we normally do in this community. Like I don't think anyone's ever had like a conversation with me going,
Mhm.
Alex, what's healthy? Like what's good? How can I type better in terms of health?
For sure. There's a number of things that come to mind. First, no matter how good my posture is, I'm very cognizant now about working smarter and not harder. So the number one thing was just not to work endlessly without any constraints. In terms of like other things that have helped, I also have a vertical mouse. It is unfortunately not the prettiest thing in the world. It's actually on my
Vertical
list.
mouse. Oh, I've seen those before. Yeah, those are interesting
Eventually,
looking.
Make a pretty or at least a cute version of this. So essentially what happens is you don't pinch a certain nerve when you don't
Yeah.
have to twist your hand a certain way and hold it all day. I did look into typing posture. So the nice thing is if you're into speed typing, certain posture where you lift your wrists off the rest is better and it makes you faster. And I also have an adjustable desk. So it's a standing desk, but more importantly, I was able to just get it to the exact specification of what is exactly comfortable for me. So that has been a worthwhile investment in terms of setups.
Which is always interesting. But for me too, one of the big things that I've been learning with wrist rests. So for anyone in chat who knows anything about wrist rests, mice and stuff too, you can get ergonomic mice. You can do a ton of ergonomic things to help with your posture and stuff. One thing that I learned recently talking to someone in the keyboard hobby, you guys might know him. It's Franco. Franco was actually telling me with wrist rests in particular that you shouldn't actually have the wrist rest straight up on the keyboard. It actually pinches nerves. This is the interesting thing here. It pinches nerves on your wrists where carpal tunnel and other stuff that you shouldn't be pinching. So you should actually bring it back a bit. And that actually is supposed to be better. And he's in the military. He actually works for the military doing health stuff. And he was talking to someone else who does that kind of health stuff too. And that's what he was telling me. And honestly, I don't know, it's like in my head now, and I think I just don't want to not take that chance anymore. But yeah, I told you guys this last time, yeah. That's what I've been telling people for months. Yeah, there you go. And there we go. We're talking about health things. Look at Mintlodica's doing. She's talking about health things with that. When those are like gel wrist rests, right?
Yeah, someone in chat mentioned them.
And they're
I
your
have-
colors too.
They come in some very cute colors. They're very cheap, which are just things I'm like, this is perfect. I don't really feel a strong need to reinvent this compared to like having a cuter ergonomic mouse.
Yeah.
And figure out how to get a plastic or a pastel plate for my monitor.
Doing the whole themed everything. Jelly beans link, please. There you go. Someone wants them. Mintlodica's now influencer.
There's
So
many-
another question I have for you, we ask this quite often as well. I know this is probably one of Chase's passions, he loves budget things, and I know that the Key Dot company recently released Portico. And Chase, did you want to take it from here with, I guess, some questions about budget keyboards or?
Yeah. Okay. So the Portico, for people who don't know about the Portico, as Alex just said, that is the Key Dot company's newest, I guess, budget offering of a keyboard, or more budget-friendly option of a keyboard. Very similar. It looks like the inspiration from it is, for this one at least, is the color schemes of DSA Magic Girl. I don't know, what role did you have in the development of this one specifically, or did they kind of come to you with this keyboard and say, hey, we'd like to match it with the keycap set, or what about that one?
Yeah. So for more context, the team we have is, well, at the beginning of the year, it was mostly me and Jason, and we had 2 folks who contributed a lot. They're still on the team today. We are now like 4x that size. So I'm actually not the expert in developing the product. We have a whole product development team now, and I really trust those folks to make those decisions. So my role in Magic Girl Portico specifically is I lead up the marketing and technology departments. So
Very cool.
what we do is kind of taking the theme of affordable, kind of entry level appeal, is making sure that we have things like build guides or contributing to the product direction. Like for this specifically, it made sense that is hot swap, and it came with all the parts to build it because the target user, and this was true for round 1 Magic Girl as well. A lot of people who bought their first custom keycap set through a group buy ever came through this design. So that's kind of a way we're kind of getting them into the hobby and interested in it.
Which is really
hot
cool
right now.
Yeah. Mintlodica is the CEO of TKC. Yes, Mintlodica is the CEO of TK. I have another question too. Getting kind of into the keycaps a little bit maybe. But obviously there's clear inspiration from Magic Girl, but was that kind of like when you were developing a set, did you develop the set around the Magic Girls in a way? Like what inspired you to create that set? Or was it the colors first, and then did you fit the characters in, or that whole, ideology of Magic Girls into the colors afterwards?
Let's see. I definitely know Mint was going to be in there. That was like not a question. Actually, the funniest thing in my IC survey when I ran this was like, I love everything except the Mint color. I'm like, I'm not sure if this is a troll or they're serious.
It's in the name, guys. It's in the name.
I know. It's just like, did you read who posted this? But yeah, I grew up in that era where we watched a lot of shoujo manga, anime, and it was very definitive in terms of how I saw myself and how I wanted to grow up, where just like they are very unapologetically femme, but also very powerful because they were magic girls. So it's kind of like a callback to that. So the icons and novelties and such that I drew, which drew a lot from my like past life as a graphic designer in tech, or having that component of it. It was fun. It was basically like creating a design system, and the colors were actually really wildly different in the first few runs. I think maybe people who followed me have the like insight and privilege of be like, oh, I know exactly what she's talking about, because they're not like what ended up in the final product. They had more of a, it was like a gradient set at first with mint, periwinkle, and lavender, which I still really like using those colors and tend to bring them back in different work. But in the end, I kind of honed in on this concept because in all the animes I've indulged in, like the special episode where they like have the Sakura season like picnic and stuff has always been one of my favorites. And back when traveling used to be more of a thing, I had this habit of going back to Japan for vacation, even though I haven't gone to a lot of other countries I still wanted to go to, because it's just such a joy, like the epitome of having a really good break. So it's also a callback to my love for that.
That's really cool. It's always cool to hear like the stories behind stuff. I mean, like there's definitely people who create just for the sake of, hey, I like these colors. But it's cool to see that there's definitely some story behind that too, which is always really, really fun.
Yeah, inspiration is a lot of what sells me personally on sets. Like I really enjoy reading that header on all the interest check threads and kind of getting a feel for what the artist was thinking about when they were designing it. Like a lot of people skip over it, or they're like, "I'll cut right to the chase," and I'm like, "No, I'm actually pretty curious to hear, where you came up with this, or if you just kind of like pick these colors out and you're like, you know what, these work, these pastels work." So that's cool.
Yeah.
By the way, if you guys have questions for Mintlodica, feel free and post them anytime during chat. Tag me so I can see the little highlighted bubble, and then I'll read them off as we go here too. Like the inspo for 8008. Yeah, that's kind of like that. Yeah.
So I've only been within this, I guess, like community and everything for, I mean, a little over a year now, and I'm pretty sure I missed the first run of DSA Magic Girl. Was the dark version of DSA Magic Girl, was that with the first run, or is that brought on with the second run?
That was new to the second run.
That was new to the second run. Did you have any hand in the designing of that one?
Yes, that was all me in terms
Yeah?
of colors and the concept. So
'Cause I saw a little bit of more of a gradient feel with the keycaps on that darker set that you were just talking about a second ago.
yeah, I tried several iterations, and I did want the two to thematically kind of match each other.
Mhm.
So I knew the purple would kind of be the star, because the purple is referring to specific characters in both of those series, where you kind of have the anti-hero, where one of the protagonists turns evil and turns out they're not evil at the end, kind of thing. But
Mhm.
it's kind of like to say the inspiration of that is we all kind of have these demons inside us, like how you manage them. So in the first few versions, the alphas were a solid color. I didn't really feel like it matched Magic Girl, because one of the things I did intentionally was make the mishmash of pink and mint mods for the classic light version. So making the alphas specifically more gradient kind of made the two gel together in a series. I know that's not everyone's taste, which is totally fine. I think one of the hard things about designing a key set is that in the end you can't satisfy everybody, so you have to make a call on
definitely.
you as a designer. Like,
Yep.
this is
You'll
the
never
ego.
satisfy everyone. Yeah, that's
It is very hard to capture 100% of everyone's approval rates. Like I think that's like something that even goes past keyboards. It's so difficult to make everybody like what you're doing, because there's always going to be varying opinions. And one thing that we always try to, I guess I say here anyways, it's okay to have those varying opinions. Just do so respectfully type things. I know some people get very, not high strung, but some people get very passionate about, their choices versus other people's choices when it comes to things like design, colors.
Mhm.
That's definitely something I can agree with too. It's tough sometimes. It's tough.
Mhm.
But another thing I wanted to ask quick as well was, are we gonna see? Because I know you guys had some plushies for the, from TKC. Are we gonna see any Magic Girl inspired plushies? Not saying the actual animes themselves.
I actually haven't thought about that.
Ooh, guys, I just think
There's
something.
dark and a light one. Okay.
Maybe I'll put it on the list. There's definitely a long wish list of things I would love to design to go with it. But seeing some questions pop in the chat. One of the struggles of growing a company too is just being careful about scale, because you want to fix the ongoing systemic issues before introducing fun new products. So that's one
Yes.
reason, for example, I didn't rerun apparel round 2, because that was a choice I made to do it better in the future when infrastructure was a little more sound.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And that's another thing, like TKC is growing, and I see some questions in the chat, and might as well ask without going into too much detail. Obviously there's been some stuff, I guess, with like desk pads and whatnot and stuff like that. Going forward, what's your response on some things you guys are working on to fix things in the future?
For sure. Yeah. I don't really want to turn this into pure TKC
For sure,
help.
yeah.
We actually have something planned that's going to
Cool.
be TKC focused. This coming Saturday, we'll try to answer this more thoroughly. But I will say, like, I know it's really hard to see from the outside, but we are doing stuff on the inside.
Yeah.
To amend these things, and not just like as a band-aid, because we could be like, oh no, let's just reprint everything, which is an option. We definitely thought about it, but imagine, like, yes, this production queue is like planned 6 months out. We reprint everything, it's going to cause this huge cascading effect where things that were on time won't be on time anymore. It's just going to go roll over.
Yeah.
So every time something comes up, there's always this decision-making process that kind of is choosing between. Right now, it's choosing between this kind of sucks and this also kind of sucks in a different
Which
way.
sucks less, yeah.
Yeah, totally.
The
It's always-
goal, of course, is that it will suck less over time, but
Yeah. And I think it's valuable getting some insight too, because I know a lot of people maybe haven't received, maybe I'm not gonna say the response that they're wanting, because I'm sure everyone wants the response of everything's gonna be fine. Let's just fix this in 1 month, with X, Y, and Z. But I think it's valuable that there's like a voice behind what's going on too. Another question that we do have in chat is, what's the story behind the 50 cent situation?
oh yeah. My last tech job before I left for TKC was at BuzzFeed, so I was a manager there. And it happened that my team's desk situation was on the same floor that they had a recording studio. So Mr. Curtis himself, I think he was promoting his TV show, actually found my BuzzFeed name tag from that photo recently. It's actually on my show.
Wait, which
That
TV
was
show
on the
is
side of
that?
my monitor. Actually, I don't remember the TV show. I actually don't watch
I don't even remember a 50 Cent TV show.
He was there for some reason, and I actually was not there that morning. I was working from home, and
Oh,
but
no
that worked
way.
out because I had rather have that picture of 50 Cent on my desk than have shook his hand, because of the fact that I was not there. I think my seat partner did a really good job. I think he was just eyeballing the shit out of my desk, and she was like, "Hey, you want to pose for a picture?" And he's like, "Hell yeah!"
What a flex.
So that's how that happened. My direct report back then was pretty good too. She was like, "Take some of the stickers off her desk." So I think he has 3 of these Magic Girl stickers.
Oh, that's
somewhere.
really cool. Yeah.
It's the symbol. It's not the sticker. It's just what's on my desk. But
Yeah.
yeah. Oh no, maybe 50 has this symbol somewhere.
So I guess my question is, 50 Cent key set when?
Oh yeah. Why didn't I think of that sooner?
Infinity 50.
Can you imagine? That'd be actually hilarious. What is that? Doesn't he own like a water company? What is it? One of those vitamin water companies?
Oh, I don't know actually.
Really,
lore-
vitamin water, that Vita water? Get richer or die typing? That is actually really funny. Get rich or die typing.
Oh yeah, one of my friends went PSA or die trying.
GMK candy shop? Alright. I respect it, guys. I respect the 50 Cent puns. Can we get a brief background on Mintlodica's process in setting up her incredible Discord server? Yes, so if you guys aren't aware, there's the Cute Keyboard Club, which is like a whole nother topic. But I guess we can intro that whole other topic into how did you set up the Discord server? Which is
Yeah.
always intimidating. Discord servers are
Actually,
intimidating.
not wearing the jacket today. I feel like every time I go on stream, I'm like, I always wear the same outfit. People are gonna think I don't own anything else. So that's that. I noticed that everyone had a server if they were a designer. I'm like, I guess I could do that, but like, I just don't feel like I can make enough interesting content just based on me and my work. So I'm like, why don't I just make it a little bit more generic? Just other people who like cute shit come in here and enjoy cute shit with me. That's like literally the whole ethos. It's pretty simple. I guess what I'm discounting when I'm giving this casual story is that in my background working as a tech person, I also had a platform. I did some sketch notes back in the heyday, which is basically visual note taking at tech conferences. I gave talks as well. So I had some experience with community management or becoming friends with people who are community managers. So I
That's
also was
cool.
very intentional in terms of how I set up things. So there were a few incidents, and my mods, thank bless them, we had to handle a few things this past week specifically, but all in all, it's been a pretty nice place. And a lot of the things I did intentionally were proactive. So creative code of conduct, making sure that, I had a thorough process. I was pretty intentional by selecting who was helping me mod, make sure I covered different experiences, just to make sure there's some coverage there, perspectives. A lot of the channels are things I personally enjoy. There have been some use spaces of things I've learned to enjoy. So I actually wasn't really into, for example, artists and keycaps very much prior to kind of this second round where I kind of went ham and thought that, oh, well, maybe half of these people respond to me. They all respond to me, which is why we have 1 billion artist collabs on accident. I'm pretty grateful. But I was like, oh, I see. It's like, these are like cute little sculptures I can own. It's really special to me. So,
Artisans are a whole nother beast. But if anyone's like tuning in, and for anyone who's listening in the future too, artisans are another beast. We probably have to do a whole thing on artisans, and Chase probably already knows where I'm going to go with this. That's a whole different podcast. But I guess that, wait, we have another question, and I'm curious because it was said in all caps. Karin said, "Ask Mintlodica about Darude Sandstorm."
oh, no.
I actually don't know what this is about, so
You know what Sandstorm is?
I know
I
what
say-
Darude is. Sandstorm, the song is.
You
Yeah.
do know, okay.
Yeah.
So they're trying to embarrass me, so I'm just gonna own it. I didn't know what it was.
Oh,
So I'm friends with Chubby's in real life, so he hangs out with me. He goes, do 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 do. I'm like, what are you doing? What is this? Is this a prank?
Chubby's did that, right?
Hmm?
Chubby said
Yeah.
that?
Yeah. So then,
I mean, to be fair, I probably
his
wouldn't have
audience.
got that either.
So chat, if you heard do 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 do, would you know what this is? Because apparently you're supposed to know what this is.
Definitely would know what it is.
You would know that, Reagan. You're lying to me right now. You're capping so hard right now, Reagan.
Bro, were you on YouTube in 2007?
Yeah,
Don't tell
I
me you
was.
don't know Darude Sandstorm.
I don't know. If you came up to me and said do 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 do, I would literally think you're a crazy person.
I mean, if you slightly say it in the tone of the song,
Go ahead, try.
probably get it.
I would not get that, dude. 110%. I would look at you funny. Like, there's no way. I have to be on Mintlodica's side. I actually literally would not understand what the hell you're talking.
If you said do 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 in a monotone tone, I probably wouldn't know. No.
I mean, dude,
I
know
definitely would not.
Here's the thing. I know what that song is, but there's no way I was listening to that. And honestly, guys, it wasn't a great song.
No.
I was not listening to that on repeat. I listened to it once on MTV, and that was about it. Okay.
It's supposed to be me, right? So I
guess
watched
so.
the video recently. I was just like, why are they going up down the stairs? I don't get it.
Oh, it's. I think I would if you guys came up to me, by the way, and recited some sort of crazy frog beat. I don't understand that more than Darude Sandstorm. All right, just letting you guys know that. Do you guys have any other questions for Mintlodica, by the way?
Got derailed.
Yeah, not Darude Sandstorm related, please.
Sorry, my mind just kind of wandered off reading all the do 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 do's and shit.
My question for Mint is if she has. Okay, let me read this one here from Chocolatine. I'm a 3D art student with a passion for keebs. I have a lot of ideas for designs and a few renders, but I do not know what to do with them. My question for Mint would be if she has any tips on where and how to get started on their to get their set picked up and made. Interesting question.
Sure. Since we already talked a little bit about Keyboard Club, I would like to plug that I have a studio section in there. So
Oh.
in addition to my own section where it's like my stuff, there's also other people's stuff. So it's like there's a Keebcast design studio section where people are just posting ideas and helping each other out. I would say that have fun experimenting, whether it's the color scheme or the novelties that excite you the most. Just kind of play around with them. And when you think you have something that kind of gels together as a set, you can run an IC survey, which stands for interest check. And if people are coming from the tech background, it's super similar to a user research survey, kind of just to see, hey, would you buy this? Why or why not? What do you like most about it? What do you want to change about it? Kind of get a sense. And then from there, I mean, I know PKC's process is evolved so that there is a Google form that you can actually submit it through. There's pointed questions. One of them we actually added, I made required, was please give us an artist statement. Like, I want 2 or 3 sentences about why you made this. I don't want like, well, I like red and green a lot. I want like, red and green are special to me because they remind me of my grandmother's lilies or something like that. Like, at least give me that.
I made it green because I like money.
Infinity grandma's lilies.
So another question I have for you, because we were talking kind of like how to get started with stuff. With the keyboard hobby kind of on its pace right now, like it's definitely growing. It's something I love to do often on stream. Like I am constantly working with keyboards. Like it is such a huge passion to me. We have seen this influx even of more budget / entry level keyboards as well. So for example, you guys have the Portico. We've seen things like the NK65, the Ramakara, lots of different things. what is your opinion and kind of advice people getting into the hobby? We ask this every single time, and I think it's such an important thing to kind of talk about. But if you could go back to yourself X amount of years when you just started, what would you say to yourself?
Just as a creative?
Not even as a creative, maybe just the like as a hobbyist in this case here. Like, what would you tell yourself? Maybe changes you do with keyboards, and what advice would you have for people getting into the hobby?
That's a good question. I'm trying to decide how spicy I feel like being. I don't know. I feel like me as a creative, if I was talking to myself, I started this, what is now the Mintlodica brand, maybe in 2015. That's when I started thinking, oh, maybe my art could be a thing. Like, I don't really want to work in tech forever. That's when I originally started thinking about it. I think I would tell myself back then that that feeling is genuine and you should keep going at it. I kind of faded in and out. So keyboards was kind of, I got lucky in the sense that I met the right people and it was like the right time. I think I'll also give myself credit that at that point, when in my journey of trying to figure out how to do this, I recognized this is the opportunity I need to seize. So I would encourage myself and people be open to whatever that is. Like, if you asked me when I started doing this art stuff, do you think mechanical keyboards was going to be your way out of your career that you didn't like very much? I'd be like, what are mechanical keyboards? I don't even own one.
So I think maybe we touched upon it, but just so we can get clarification too, what was your first Switch that you would use that wasn't like a cherry brown, blue? I mean, even that I guess you'd count, but what was your first Switch other than, I guess, the holy trinity of Switches being the blues, reds, and browns?
Yes, I'm trying to see if someone in chat asked this, but I think it's because they know I started with box jades because I liked being really annoying. Click switches.
And you worked in an office?
Yeah, they all hated me.
I'm surprised they let you be there. When I brought so box jades were actually my first Switch in a keyboard too. When I brought it in, I got told to get it lost.
I was like, thanks for letting me work at home all the time. This is why I do it.
The unholy trinity, someone says. Yes. No, I mean, reds are bad guys. Browns are pretty doo-doo. And blues or whatever. And then again, kind of also touch upon that last subject is what's your I want to be careful with how I word this because I don't want to make it seem like we're talking about something like we should never build this way. But is there a keyboard build that you've done that you really, really regret? And just for reference, guys, I'm not saying you can't regret a build. It's good to regret things. It means you're learning.
Actually, I have to admit that I'm a bit of an imposter. I haven't actually really built my own boards. My friends have built it.
I mean, that's totally fine too.
It's okay.
I'm trying to think. I actually don't own that many boards. I'm kind of a weird exception considering my role and my place in the community. I pretty much only own the Ergonomics 2 candy bars and my keyboard club discipline. I don't really regret any of those.
I mean, that's still a fair share.
I guess I don't really need more than one board. So in that sense, it's excessive.
Yeah, it's definitely a fair share of boards. Like, you don't need 30 boards to be considered, really big into the hobby. All boards are good boards. I agree with that, Sweet. I agree. All boards are good boards. Exposed, someone said. Yes, this is Mintlodica Exposed. She only has 4 keyboards, guys. Oh, how can she call herself a keyboard enthusiast? Apparently, it's someone's birthday.
I have 3 keyboards.
Keyboard company. You don't own any keyboards.
It's okay. Mintlodica, I have 3 keyboards, so we're good.
Cool.
You hear that, Alex? Excessive. Apparently, it's someone's birthday in chat, by the way. Friendship, I believe.
yeah.
Friendship. Happy birthday.
Friendship.
There you go.
Happy birthday.
And
Everyone's calling out Alex for being excessive with his.
hey, now, come on.
Alex, how many keyboards do you have?
I don't know, like 31 or something.
He was like, you don't have to have 30 to be a
Why
part.
you guys? Why trying to single me out?
31 is the number.
I found Mint's Instagram. We're not gonna ignore it. I found Mint's Instagram 1 month ago, and the Magic Girl inspired me to explore keyboards and artisan keycaps. The artistic element is driving my motivation to pursue my artistic endeavors. That's really awesome. I've been learning about computers, keyboards, and equipment, and will be investing in a whole new setup for teaching music production and gaming. And I guess that's a big thing about it too. You know, first of all, I have a question, and I actually am very curious as to why. But I noticed on social media you follow exactly people.
Oh yes.
I've always been curious as to why. Is it like is like you just don't want to see what people post type thing for mental health stuff, or because I know sometimes I can get like that where I just want to unfollow people. I'm like, I don't want to see anybody else's stuff.
Yeah, I definitely have bad days where I'm just like, I don't want to see no keyboards. I've been dealing with keyboard stuff all week.
Damn rectangles.
But it's also practical because I think people give too much stock in the follow back thing. So sometimes I don't follow some back, not because I don't actually want to follow them, because I'm hella busy. And I get a little butthurt about it, and I'm just like, why are you so butthurt?
Yeah, I can. So to kind of speak on that too, as Instagram accounts grow, and as social media accounts grow, if you're interested in that kind of stuff, I do feel like there's that whole kind of like a haircut, that awkward stage of where it's tough to gain followers. So there is that whole pod mentality of let's follow each other and you follow me back type thing, and you create these pods, and it definitely does get a little bit weird for sure. Like I remember when I was first starting, and I'm sure Chase can agree with this too because he does manage a lot of Instagram. There is a large number of people who do this thing where it's like, you know, I'll follow you, follow me, you know, we'll share each other's post type thing. Let's become Instagram partners together. And it just gets a little bit overwhelming. I can definitely agree with that. Definitely.
Yeah. I'm trying to decide. I don't want to be too dark, but I also had a bad stalker experience, which I think is probably more specific because I'm, quite frankly, a woman.
Yeah.
So, I've had this experience in the past, luckily not in keyboards, and I hope this never happens, but in tech. I had someone who I followed back in that era, you know, and they started being all weird and creepy. But because our mutuals thought, you know, oh, she seems to be chill with this person because, you know, she follows him back or whatever, and they've exchanged some messages. They're like, oh, Susan's not unreachable or is being unreachable. Here's her phone number. I'm just like, ugh. So it's kind of an easy way to circumvent a bunch of stuff that could potentially happen that are not cool. So it kind of sucks that, at least for Twitter, I can have lists and I can check people. So I still keep up with the people I care about. And
that's true. I forgot about that thing on Twitter.
I wish Instagram had something similar. I kind of do it the getaway. Just manually type your name so I can see if you have people right now.
And I guess this is another question I have in both social media too. What do you find? So do you prefer Twitter or do you prefer Instagram for keyboard stuff?
You know, I haven't really liked Instagram lately. Like,
me neither.
Especially since I
hate
used
the
to
new
work
layout.
Tech, I can see what they're doing. The PM that own Reels, they are probably really happy right now because I accidentally tapped that button like 10 times a day.
Yeah, I do not like the new Instagram one. I've actually been slowly enjoying, not slowly, but me personally, been really liking Twitter. Reagan actually was the one who encouraged me to get on Twitter more so, and I've been really liking it. It's honestly really good. And I'm finding a lot more like different keyboard creators and content for keyboards on Twitter rather than Instagram.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but what's funny with that too is I wasn't really a Twitter fan until Chase made me get on it.
Oh,
So this is all Chase's fault. That
So
I'm
this
on
is
Twitter.
all, yeah, we're pointing the fingers at you,
he
Chase.
feels vexed, yeah.
He's like, yeah, whatever, guys, just leave me alone.
Twitter, I mean, not that like, I mean, I'll go ahead and say it. Twitter's always been like my favorite social media platform. I think it's like the most pure social media platform in that it's just an ongoing conversation and the ability to jump in public conversations all the time. Yeah. I really like Twitter. I think it's a really cool social media platform.
Yeah.
Like someone
I
said
do like
too.
the responding with pictures.
Yeah, I mean, even with GIFs and stuff like that. Do you guys say GIF or GIF, by the way?
I say
It's a GIF.
Oh God, I'm gonna get flamed in the chat now because you guys didn't agree with me.
It's proven wrong apparently, but I don't care. I just don't care.
Yeah, to me, GIF is peanut butter. Like
GIF is peanut butter, man.
That's Jiffy, isn't that Jiffy? Or is it GIF? Oh, I'm gonna get flamed now. Someone, whatever. That's gonna be like a topic for tomorrow, I guess. So another thing I want to also point out, and someone actually beat me to the punch there, was I actually do see you more active on Twitter regarding keyboard content and stuff like that. So I was gonna say that probably is your preferred medium, huh?
Yeah, I've also been on Twitter since like 2008, so I'm just really attached to it. I've made so many friends on Twitter, like in an unexpected way. Like one of the other prominent creators in like the cute pastel keyboard space, Sailor HD, and I met on Twitter. So I would not have met her without Twitter.com. And I just really enjoy a good Twitter shitpost. So it's kind of a special thing to,
God,
like,
I have
go
so
from it.
many reaction photos from Twitter saved that are so stupid just from comments.
Oh yeah.
Like, which
There's
ones are
nothing. There's
wanna
nothing
know
better
now.
than finding a really good Twitter post and then scrolling down the thread just to see like the next, like the first comment is like way better than the original content you came
They
there
always
for,
are.
and then it gets better and better as you keep going down the thread. That's always the best.
So it's Chocolatine asked, can you ask Mint about Gamer?
So Gamer Girl's the next set in my series.
Ooh.
It has been submitted for prototype as of this month, so I'm expecting
Ooh.
to see something the next month or two, and then evaluate how I feel about it and go from there. So
Ooh.
super interesting, actually. One thing I observed in the hobby in general is, to me, user research or interest check survey would be pretty rough. Like, I want to see if you're interested in it. I'm going to change the shit out of this based on your feedback. But I've noticed some people have taken the opposite approach, where it's actually like really polished something, and you're actually collecting literal interest in the sense of like, how many people are going to buy this? So I'm just kind of like observing this, like, oh, this is a kind of different way to see the same tool in the arsenal. So even on the prototyping step, I noticed that, so in Finicky, you can order prototypes, and I noticed most of the prototypes are pretty like polished. In the Gamer Girl prototype order, I'm like, I'm gonna try this, I'm gonna try that, I'm gonna try these 3 colors. I don't know if it's gonna work.
And I think that's
like-
another good point too, because you mentioned interest checks and all that kind of stuff too. Me personally, if I have my own stuff, I don't think I'll ever, me personally, post an interest check. I'm one of those guys who just doesn't care about, like, if there's kitting problems or something, like actual technical issues, I'll work past that on my own. But like to get like creative, I guess, feedback, I've never personally, as someone who does some creative stuff, cared for it. But I know there is value in having an interest check.
There is. It's pretty safe because it's like, while you may not be necessarily looking for feedback on what to change, you're also looking for like how many people are committing to this, which will then help
Exactly,
you
yeah.
price your MOQs and stuff like that.
Yes.
So,
Yeah.
and you can generally gauge that, like, if I'll just throw a random number, if 250 people fill out an interest check, you're probably going to get more sales than that, because those are the people who took the time to actually fill it out versus the people who are quietly interested in it. So I don't know, it makes it a little more safe in my opinion, like when you're ICing sets.
Yeah, I can definitely see that.
I think you can also make the survey useful for yourself. So what would you like to ask people, and then go from there. I think another thing I find useful is I always leave an optional email like form or place to leave your email, and then I just import all those emails into my newsletter so those folks can get the updates they opt in for. I apologize because I'm actually really bad at updating my newsletter because I have so much other stuff to do these days. For anyone who follows it.
Someone said the best designs I've seen didn't bend much from the design standpoint. Yeah, I mean, there's that too, Zoo. I totally agree with that. Interesting. I always thought IC numbers would be a bit higher than actual sales. I mean, I guess in some cases, maybe some sets have maybe seen higher interest check numbers, and then when the set runs, I mean, I'm guilty of it too. I'll be like, ooh, dope, I'll buy this, interest check, submit, and then I'll just forget. And then it's just, you don't have time. Like, sometimes you just change your mind, financial situations change. So, sometimes that happens.
Sometimes that does, yeah.
Chillin said, I don't know if this was answered already, but why DSA for Magic Girl?
I think earlier I mentioned this very briefly by type in Dvorak layout, which is, I guess the important part is not QWERTY. So I love the flexibility personally to be able to arrange the keycaps in any shape, way, or form on the board. And I'm typing on an Ergonomics, which is already kind of an atypical niche layout. So it's like having extensible Legos. And I like colorful things, so even more options to place the keycaps wherever you want. It's a personal preference, and yeah, sculpted just personally doesn't do much for me.
Yeah, I can see it. I can definitely see it. You know what? I'll be honest. I tried DSA for the first time with Magic Girl, actually, and I really like it. Like, I have it right now on the Molly, the pink Molly, and I truthfully really dig DSA, and it made me actually want to go pick up more DSA sets. It feels good. I've always been like a laptop typer, and I know we've had this discussion in my stream where I like lower profile keyboards. Like it definitely is like a lower typing angle for me is preferable. So when I saw DSA, I'd never seen it in person. Like it was always, you see the profile heights, you're like, okay, maybe this won't feel good because I'm so used to Cherry. It was actually, so for anyone who's interested, it was actually a cool change. Like it was definitely really cool. I really dig it. And just like I would not have thought I liked MT3 because I see Sweet mention MT3. I really liked MP3. It's one of those keycap sets, those profiles, which I really dig. I can definitely say that it was an interesting experience to try it. And I guess Oh, go on. Sorry, Chase.
I was gonna say right before we went live, Reagan was showing Mintlodica actually his DSA Magic Girl set, and he said that was the first time he'd had a chance to mess with DSA, and he was talking about how he really liked just the. Oh, actually, I'll just let you say, Reagan. What were you saying you liked about the profile itself?
Well, I've been trying to put it on this little macropad plate right now. That's what I've been messing with for the last second. But I really like it. I like the top curvature. I like how it's, everything's the same row height to it. But no, I really like it. I've got a build that I'm doing this weekend with it, and I'm excited to really see how it feels on some switches. Like just from now, it feels pretty good. Texture feels pretty nice. The plastic, and yeah, I just like how it kind of just grips your finger.
I think it's just trying new things for me in this hobby. Like I see a few people saying that they tried DSA, and sometimes some people SA, sometimes people say Cat MT3. Like they tried that for the first time and they really like it. And I think one of the coolest things about this hobby, and I'll keep reiterating this till the day I stop building keyboards, but it's just there's so much different preferences and opinions and what people like that it's actually such a cool and honestly beautiful thing. And just honestly see no one get up in arms about, Cherry's better for this reason or DSA is better for this reason. It's super cool. It's super, super cool. I like the sound of SA. I like Cat too. Yeah, I mean, it's all really cool. Please don't stop building keyboards. I don't think I will. Unless they we all turn into zombies.
Enjoy.
Yeah, I agree.
It doesn't have to be what I enjoy. Like, I don't care as long as you enjoy it. Is it cute to you? Post it. I'm not gonna, gatekeep that,
Yep.
And I guess I kind of wanted to bring up that. I was going to wait to the end, but I was going to bring up two things. First of all, on social media, I mean, there is definitely instances where, anger and toxicity can definitely get the best. With anything, not just about product and stuff like that. Especially nowadays, because we're all inside because of COVID. And it's harder to get things. Like when people miss out on a keyboard, for example, or I know the new NVIDIA graphics cards have been a pain in the rear end to pick up as well. Do you have any suggestions, or do you have any tips and tricks on how to keep calm?
Like, as me posting, or just in general?
Just in general. My PS5, someone said.
I think at the end of it, or at the end of the day, just remember, have a little bit of empathy for the people who are trying to make it work. Because I know for me, running a vendor, one of the challenges is literally we are at production capacity. We cannot make many more of these things faster than we are doing it. Otherwise we would. That's especially true for switch drops. I think switch drops tend to be really hot.
Yeah.
We've had to actively manage them. It's just that was the maximum they could send us. I wish they would make us more. I wish they would make them faster. But just to remember that at the end of the day, it's not because we're artificially holding them back for some weird stuff like that. That actually does not make any sense from a business point of view. It's because, this is the best we can do given the unexpected occurrence that we are still in a global pandemic, which is kind of funny because I think we've gotten to a point where maybe we've tried to forget about that because it is kind of depressing to think about all the time, but it's still the reality we're dealing with.
Yes, people forget about this. I can confirm this.
Wait, so you're telling me you don't have a secret stash of tangerines?
I do not have any more tangerines than the one stuck in my candy bar.
I tried, guys.
Wait,
she has 70 in her candy bar. So you do have some.
Exclusive stuff too much because I prefer someone else get them, like a buyer.
Yeah, it's true. Honestly, it's true. Tangy Drop earlier this year got a bit toxic on Discord. Yeah, and that's kind of one of the things I truly talk about all the time too is just, and there's only so much we can do. And it's like Mintlodica just said, I don't think on a business standpoint there's a good thing about not giving people what they want in the moment, especially for something like switches and whatnot too. It doesn't make sense. It does not make sense. And then the other question I had, which is a bit more lighthearted, was you obviously run the Cute Keyboard Club Discord.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I've actually heard this from a lot of people too, especially girls in the community, who absolutely love it. Like it's somewhere they kind of feel like they belong in a sense, and I think it's such a wonderful thing. And I wanted to know your opinion on, I guess, do you see more cute / uwu / girly in a sense keycaps / keyboards / merchandise for that coming up? Because honestly, I love it. Women in the community, my mistake. Women in the community. Or girls. I mean, girls can like keyboards too.
Women, femmes, NBs, whoever.
Yeah.
I really embrace people who identify as masculine, who love cute things. And that's
me.
one of the philosophies I embrace.
Yeah.
In that community, I'm really happy to hear that people feel like it's a productive and safe place to be to express themselves in that way. And it was definitely built on the intention that it'll remain that way. We've had to make some hard calls and deal with some not fun things to keep it that way too. I definitely want to expand our product line. Talked a little bit about this when I was last a guest on Adobe Live, but my friend who hosted that show asked, Susan, what do you see in your future as your role? I'm like, being CEO is kind of like, I want to offer my expertise so that things can scale elegantly and I can like be part of that change. But I do want to get back to a point where I'm not like 10% barely design time. I want to be like 50% back on my creative stuff.
Sure, yeah.
Being the lead designer of my brand, which includes a lot of the cute keyboard club type and Mintlodica line. And I kind of mentioned this earlier too, but I do incubate active community members who have creative projects there purposely because they can kind of leverage the work we're already doing and to have like an engaged audience and buyership around things they're creating that are aligned with the philosophy of creating things that we find and love and want to enjoy and support them with.
Yeah, and it's true because I can't speak for Tracer Reagan. I know they probably just love his uwu stuff just as much as I do. But I've literally been talking to people, and I don't know if it's so much more on stream, like live, but conversations I've had with so many people in the community, everyone, and this is even prior to Cute Keyboard Club, everyone has always said they wish they had more cute stuff. Like more things in pink, more things in just things that are cute, because it just feels like, that whole, hey, this is a black rectangle, we're putting black keycaps on it. It gets a little dull. So I think the color is kind of nice, and I really do like it. It's honestly been so much fun. We have some comments in chat from Nacho saying, I love cute shit. It's nice to know that this hobby doesn't have too many machos, and people can like whatever they want without being judged. Totally, I agree with that. I'm so sad that I did not get the cute keyboard jacket. Is there going to be a round 2 of that?
They're coming in December, and hopefully Sailor, she doesn't light me on fire for this, but we are bringing it back. It'll be next year. We're just kind of busy for the rest of the year, so don't worry, you'll get your chance.
Was there, I can't remember for the round 1, was it just the one color, or was there multiple colors of the jacket?
It's currently this color only, but one of the things we discussed is offering a different colorway.
Ooh. Because no offense to Mint, I'm not a green guy myself.
That's totally fine.
Yeah.
I think it's totally chill. People don't like Mint, and they buy the mono. I have a mono cleric kit for the Light Magic Girl, so they can get all the pink mods, and then they can like figure out if they want to trade with someone else. They just don't want to put it on a shelf and never look at it again. Like, I'm very cognizant of this, so it's totally fine.
Because I'll go ahead and rock something pink. I've just never been a fan of green. The only type of green I really like, I don't mind pastels, and I don't mind like a deep, like a plant green, but any other green, I'm just like, I don't know, it's just not for me. Green is just chef's kiss. Friendship said green is chef's kiss. Pink is life.
What about like a Magic Girl dark colorway for a jacket?
Ooh.
That is kind of where the direction was going, so we've been kind of noodling on it.
Okay.
We're just trying to siphon out what's going on, with future drops, so we can get everyone pumped up. That's it.
Oh, no worries.
You said more color words. Everyone's like, oh no, my wallets. Oh no.
Yeah, I have a little bit of a habit of leaking things on my server, so if that's an incentive to join, do that.
It's really fun. Like, honestly, there's just so many cool things that have been happening in the keyboard community, and honestly, TKC does a lot of really fun stuff. Obviously, you guys, like I said, just released Portico. DSA Magic Girl is still live, by the way, guys. If you guys want, it's up till December 4th, you said, Mintlodica?
Yep.
So we have that. There's just so many cool things. Have you actually tried the, because I actually still need to build with them, but I guess you would call them the Dark Magic Girl switches. I have them here.
Oh yes, I also have my Pro.
I need to figure out a keyboard I
Mine
want
are
to put those
actually
in.
still in a jar.
Mine are
Jason
too.
brought them to me as a gift when he came for one of the exec leadership team summits. I'm like, thanks, Jason. Do you know that I don't actually build keyboards? I don't know what to do.
Well, I mean, now they can just be a little desk prop.
Yeah, I've taken product photos with them at least. 'Cause the sample colors are very similar to the Dark Magic Girl colors, but
Yeah, really, yeah. I can only buy so much Magic Girl stuff, Stray Coma says, with a crying face.
oh.
Poor wallets. Everyone's poor wallet. But I think it's really inspiring, and honestly, I've had so many people just say that they wish they could have more uwu stuff, and it's just such a cool direction that it's been taking. And I know we've discussed this. Me and Chase have talked a bit about this too, but like the direction of the keyboard community is just expanding so fast. And I feel like I've even reached out to other content creators who have nothing to do with mechanical keyboards, and they'll even talk to me and they'll be like, dude, I hear about keyboards everywhere. Is that like the new hot thing? And I don't have an answer for them other than I think so. But it's crazy. Like even in the esports community too, we've seen people like Tfue and other big gamers get into these custom keyboards. And I don't know if Chase wants to touch more upon that, but
No, I mean, like, it's really interesting to see specifically, like you said, the esports side of things. Definitely more and more people, not even just like esports stuff. It's really the streamers who seem to be really embracing the whole
that's
community more. People who, are right now spending a lot of time working from home, sitting in front of a desk. And I mean, that number of people that are just at home in front of their desks has not just in streaming and in esports stuff, but just in general has shot up over the last 6-7 months. So it's really cool to see, I don't know, I guess base of this community that was already here before all this like influx of people came in, that has been really welcoming to that huge influx of people. I don't know, it's really like I said, it's really cool to see, because even me, like only being in this stuff for a little over a year, when March came around and April, and then all of a sudden you started seeing things blowing up on Reddit and Instagram pages blowing up. Like I know over the last year, I don't think Reagan expected his Instagram following for making custom cables to be at 30,000. Like that's pretty crazy to think about. And I don't know, it's just really cool to see where the community has gone, and I don't know, it'll be weird to see where it'll go in the near future.
Well, even like Mintlodica said too, I don't think she ever expected for mechanical keyboards to be like a full time. Sure. Yeah, it's so weird. It's so weird to think about. Like you don't think about it, man. Like I can understand if you're in production, you're making like a general keyboard that everyone uses, but like these are in some cases keyboards that get very small production runs, right? So it's so interesting to see so many people get into this. To read off some comments really quick. Streamers showing their keys, that desk bling, friendship. I agree. A lot of streamers actually have a keyboard cam, which is actually really funny too. It's honestly beautiful to see. Our wallets are in shambles. Yeah, I agree. And then we had some comments. Other purple plus lime green. I mean, I don't know if that can be a colorway for the jacket. Delaxia said Dark Magic Girl colorway. Okay, I'm in all caps. All right. We need more lilac, dude. Lilac's actually a nice color. Like I said, I'm more like a pink and purple kind of guy, but lilac would be really, really nice too. I agree.
Yes.
I agree.
One of the colors that snuck into Gamer Girl prototype is the lilac, so we'll see how it looks.
Ooh.
Where did you say we can find can we find anything about that set right now?
I have one Instagram post, and there's a channel in my server for it.
Okay.
Oh wait, let me get you guys a link.
Let me see if I can find it. I'm on my computer. It doesn't have the lilac mocked up, but
if you guys want to join the keyboard, let me. Wait, I can't do it because I have to keep Discord open over here. Can someone DM me a link for a cute keyboard club Discord invite, please, and thank you. DSA Gamer. Hope this doesn't cover anyone. Yeah, okay.
It's working. Hopefully I can type correctly.
There we go. Thank you guys. But if you guys want to learn more about the Cute Keyboard Club, as well as follow some more of Mintlodica's journey in keyboards, that's a good place to start, I think. Or you can check her socials. I think Chozo set up a !Mintlodica. If you guys want to check that out, more of her socials there. Ooh, this is actually a really nice set. I'll be honest. I love the bottom one. I'd rock that.
Nice. Yes, it uses one of my absolute favorite monospace font, Fantastic Sans Mono. So, kind of as a designer, I'm a little bit selfish in the sense that the things I design, especially in my, I guess what is now my blank girl line, kind of an accident, but I think I can roll with it.
Plus, I wanted to also say I've been really digging the fact that you've been using lowercase letters on both Magic Girl and this.
It was super controversial when I first ran that IC. People were really mad.
Really? I can see some of the letters
bad.
being kind of confusing. Like when I was putting on DSA Magic Girl, everyone was shouting at me about, I think, the I and the L. They're like, it's the wrong way. I'm like, I don't know, man. Or like the B and the D. Like, I don't think it matters in that case. But yeah, like I dig
it. It's a little
it.
bit of a dyslexic nightmare, I admit
Yeah.
that. But it is DSA, so like it almost doesn't matter if you put it in the right place because it's gonna work anyway.
There you go, Alex. She said it. Now you can tell people.
Yeah, see that?
It doesn't matter.
See that, guys? But no, whenever I do design stuff too, the majority of the stuff that I do, even my logo and stuff, my whole channel really, with the exception of, I guess, oddly enough, the only thing that's caps on this whole page is caps lock, but I try to do everything in lowercase. I don't know why, it's aesthetically pleasing to me, I guess. But I really dig that. I really, really dig that. Plus, I like the gamer girl, I guess, kitty cat ear headphones on the top left there as the escape key.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think that's a very iconic symbol of gamer girls.
That is a very.
I'm more into the arrow keys that you decide what you decide to use for the arrow keys on that. That's really fun.
Yes.
What are their mods? I'm like zoomed in, by the way. I'm like 300% on Instagram right now. We got cherries.
It's not the most high res thing, which kind of brings to a less fun topic of the more prominent I've gotten, the more I'm worried about people ripping my stuff. So I've been very careful about posting things that are very high resolution.
I mean, I made that mistake, as you know. I was giving so if you guys don't know, I put my Switch Swirl desk pad.
Scary stuff.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
I've actually I guess I'll share this here. I've actually been talking to a patent IP lawyer about my work, partly because it's kind of treading the line of like fan art, and I've done fan art in the past. I know a lot of artists do fan art, but as we get bigger, I want to be very careful, especially as a leader of a company, about how do we like be very smart without shutting this avenue down, because I think paying homage to things that are very near and dear to us and special is still really like something we want to keep doing, but we want to be smart about it.
We want to protect yourself and make sure that no one is profiting off of someone else's concepts and ideas.
For sure.
And as you know too, that happened to me. I think I was talking to I can't remember who brought it up. I think it might have been Love, but they pointed out like, oh, people are reprinting your Switch Twirl desk pad.
Oh,
and
yeah.
So if you guys don't know, I had a desk pad that ran with DKC, and we ran it. And as this ran, I also released a wallpaper, and my intelligent human being but released a full resolution wallpaper that people were taking and I guess printing their own copy of it, which kind of sucks. Yeah.
That pisses me off on your behalf, because I know like you want to share your work with people and let them enjoy it. This is why you put out the wallpaper.
Yeah.
And some asshat takes your wallpaper and prints their own desk mats and sends it to TKCC bragging, I didn't have to wait for my Switch World because I went and printed my own. I'm just like, fuck you. Like, you are the reason why I don't release wallpapers anymore.
Yeah. And then I had to stop doing that.
It sucks.
Yeah.
Did that actually happen? Somebody printed it and then went and bragged, said they didn't have to wait.
Yeah,
Yep.
actually happened.
Really?
And it was so one thing happened to them, and there was actually one that happened prior, 'cause when I was talking to TKC, I learned about that incident. I'm like, dude, I actually had an incident where someone else entirely was like, would you be mad if I printed this as a desk pad? And I was like, I'd rather you not. Like, this is while the group buy was running still. And the last like few days is when I released the wallpaper, and people were actually going, okay, well, would you be mad? And I said, well, I'd prefer you not. Like, if you'd like to support my work, please go buy the, official one.
They're like, listen, I found your set on AliExpress, and
Yeah.
I do want to support you. I know it's in group buy, but it's $19.99 right
So
now.
yeah, well, that's what they did. They went and printed their own. Like, they went to a local shop and printed their own, and then they posted it. And I was like, how does he have that? And it wasn't even clicking that they went and printed their own. I'm like, did they get like early copies or something? So it was just so disheartening to me, and I was like, you guys must not like me or something.
Yeah, and they just like play the innocence go like, oh, I didn't know it was bad. I'm just like, bro, I'm just beyond the point where I just can't put up with this shit anymore.
Yeah.
Like, just, like, I'm sorry you had to deal with that. It just really is kind of a shitty bridge to cross, because it's really nice when your reach gets to people and, they can enjoy the work you put out. And I would still say like 99% of people out there enjoy our work.
Yeah,
It's
I
just,
think
like,
so.
1% gets bigger and bigger with time.
Well, and this leads into a conversation that we had. I think we almost have this again. I don't know, Chase, do we talk about the whole AliExpress keycap sets almost like once a Keebcast now?
It's
Yeah.
like every
Yeah.
other, but I mean, I think it's an ongoing conversation because there's still a lot of mixed. I feel like
Opinions
it's a
and
really it's kind of a
conversation, yeah.
weird topic in the community for sure.
So, to bring it up, to kind of talk to you about it, right now, and I guess is this a worry for you as well, going forward into what I'm about to say? There is a lot of keycap sets, for example, like you can pick up Serica from Zamboom, technically off AliExpress, but it's not official GMK. So a lot of people have been picking up these sets off of like AliExpress or Banggood or whatever website carries them, and they're not doing anything to help support, the original artist.
They're
Are you
basically
ever-
clones.
They're
of the
clones,
GMK
yeah.
sets.
They're clones of GMK. Are you ever worried that might happen to you? And then I guess what would your response be to that? Like, what do you do? Like, what do we do? That's the question that's ongoing, is what do we do? How do we combat this? Other than telling people, hey, this isn't good. And we're trying to teach people and educate people, but like, what do we do? And I
Yeah.
guess that's the big thing.
It's pretty exhausting. That's one reason I brought up the conversation about actually hiring a lawyer to help suss this out for me. 'Cause I think it's complicated in the sense that, I'm based in the United States, so there's like a set of rules within the United States, and then it's kind of just like the wild, wild west with China. Like, I've definitely gotten like my family knew I liked Pokemon when I was a kid, so they got me some weird Pokemon bootleg shit so I can enjoy it on a budget. You don't think about these things when you're 8 years old, but when you're like, where I am now as an adult who makes these things, I honestly don't know what options we have. So kind of like there's the sense of, educate as many people as we can, have our fans and audience members do a lot of that advocacy, because like we can't do it all ourselves, and the reality of accepting and trying to kind of mitigate it as much as possible. But
Yeah.
I think there is a reality where it's not completely foolproof in the end.
Yeah, and I
Speak
think
with your wallets. Don't
and
support
yeah,
the
I was about
knockoff
to say that.
sets.
Yeah, speak with your wallets. Like, I think there is a large conversation that has been happening, especially over the last like month, because we've been seeing that those clone sets just grow and grow and grow. Like, there's just there's a lot of them now, and we've seen arguments on even Reddit, for example. Reddit's the biggest place for where the arguments ensue. Is people go, well, I can't buy this set anymore. I don't want to spend $500 on Mech Market for a set. How am I supposed to enjoy this set?
You don't.
There is definitely that point, but I can also play devil's advocate and kind of see where they're coming from. Like, they'd love it. And it's so easy now to go spend $25 or $40 on AliExpress. So my thing is educate. I guess the only thing that we can really do forward is educate. educate how it affects artists and companies and vendors who actually put these things into play to begin with.
Yeah,
So,
and I mean, I already have the privilege and luxury because I can, I have the network and I can afford hiring a lawyer. Now I know everyone can't do that, so just kind of the work put into that. Hopefully I can pass it on in a good way, set the precedence, but it is a really hard and sticky battle that doesn't really have perfect answers.
Yeah, and I think that's probably, like, it's not the end point of this conversation at this point in time with this, but I think that's all we can really do. Like, I don't know if there's anything else the average person or a designer can do at this point.
Maybe you can lead the way in like a central hub of where designers can go through to protect their design once that gets established a little bit more.
That'd be interesting. Yeah.
I would love to be part of that movement. Actually, in my search for, like, I don't know anything about law, so even me trying to find someone competent to hire for this role was interesting because I learned that people specialize just in patent IP. Not only that, but like for creative people specifically.
Yeah.
So like
Very narrow
to
set of.
how complicated and prevalent some of this stuff is. That you could have a business based on this alone.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. That's in every industry as well. Like there's design that needs to be protected in every industry.
Yeah. It's such a tough, and for everyone in chat, like I definitely see, I'm reading every message, guys, and there is really good points to be made. Like even Dr. Fop says, I never bought a clone, but there's a ton of sets where I've loved to support the designer and they just don't ever want to run a set again, and so I can't. I understand that, totally get where that's coming from too. And I know a lot of sets, like sometimes the designer can't either be reached, and as a vendor, I don't know what you can do, like unless you've signed off on something that says you can run that set again. But how do you reach out to a designer in that case as a vendor and be like, hey man, there's a lot of interest in this right now, like would you like to run it again? Like if that designer's not reachable, or like what do? I don't know. And these are all great questions. Like I don't know what to, and I think there definitely needs to be a lot of conversation going forward with that, because the last thing I think we want is the majority of this hobby to turn into like Yeezys, like people are saying, where everyone wants something but it's all going to be fake.
Yeah.
Right. So what saddens me is that some people are mistaking being educated by people in the community from gatekeeping. Yeah, I totally agree with that too. I think gatekeeping is very different from saying like, hey guys, like we don't truly support people spending money on fake stuff. I agree with that. I agree with that entirely. Did you guys have any other questions for Mintlodica? We are almost reaching our hour and a half mark, guys. We almost are. Do you guys have any other questions for Mintlodica? Chase, Reagan, did you guys have any other questions?
I think we've covered a lot today.
Yeah, we have. We have covered quite a bit. What did 50 Cent smell like? I think she said that she wasn't there that day. You said?
I was not there today.
Yeah.
My coworker said he smelled like very big diamonds on his pinky fingers, which one of the people on my design team back then, I think he shook her hand or something, and then she was just like, I'm never washing this hand ever again.
I don't know what I don't think I've ever met. I think I've met one celebrity ever in my entire life, and that was Dallas Green from Alexis on Fire. And that's the only celebrity I've ever met in my entire life. So, does Mintlodica have any more product leaks?
Leaks. So the Portico is the first keyboard we released at TKC that's kind of like, meant to be entryway, more accessible. We have more coming, more layouts, kind of all on the same kind of design philosophy and brand line. So look forward to that. And I'll have Gamer Girl and some other sets match up to them in a little bundle.
Well, that's cool. See, guys, you guys get exclusives here. And yes, guys, I did meet Dallas and Green. Dallas Green. Oh, I said Dallas and Green. I don't know how to. Many times we can't rerun sets because there's long queues and vendors. I agree with that, Zambu. That's another good point. And Zambu designs sets, guys. Zambu's very into this hobby, so I'm taking what he says very seriously. What music does Mint listen to? I think she just got up. Give her 1 second. She may be talking to the dog.
Sorry, I figured.
There he is.
You might like to see this.
There's the
Nice.
puppy.
Music. I'm very into chiptunes. One of my favorite composers is Ivy Sura. They're most well known for doing Steven Universe's soundtrack. I actually commissioned them to do the music video for my round 2 because that's just how I am.
Yeah.
Check out their work. I really love them.
What was that again? Sorry, you said chiptune?
Yeah, chiptune.
I'm gonna look that up
Very
too.
jazzy. The specific band I mentioned is a couple who does the chiptune and piano, so it's a really interesting combination. This is my dog, Grass Jelly. You
Grass
also
Jelly.
might know him as JBR Sharty, depending on what you want to know about him. Maybe don't ask questions you don't want to know about.
I'm curious about Sharty, but I don't know. I don't know if this is gonna get a little weird.
I mean, it's just normal puppy stuff. When he was
Okay.
a puppy, he just had a few really disgusting accidents. So much so he got the nickname Sharty. And then before COVID shut down his first birthday party, I commissioned this dog cake, and then I told the people, the bakers, I'm like, can you write, "Hey Sharty, it's your birthday" on the cake? And they emailed me back saying, "Did you mean Shorty like the song?" And I'm like, "No, I want the word Sharty on this."
She leaned into the mic. She's like, "You heard what I said.
You know goddamn well
You
what
know-
I said.
Don't make me say it again."
This dog sharted all over my apartment, and it was disgusting.
Trinola wants to know if you watch Card Captor Sakura.
Yes, I did.
There you
I watched
go.
the OG series, which is a huge reason why Magic Girl has a lot of the symbols from the series. And I've also watched Clear Card. I don't know if I'm up to date, but I watched at least the first few episodes.
Have you seen Wix's Selector Infected?
What?
It's also an anime that has some magical girl elements. It's really good. I should link you. It's I really like it. It's I wouldn't say it's newer. I don't know if anyone in chat has seen Wix's Selector Infected. I think I'm always the only one.
I'm less up to date these days.
Well, I'll definitely have to show you that. Don't know if this is already answered, but I wanted to ask if TKC made prototypes of the Portico, or is it just a render for it?
We have prototypes. I leaked the prototype photo in Cute Keyboard Club. Go check it out.
There you go.
But,
Another reason to join the Discord.
Jason and I actually are planning to do a Black Friday, day after Black Friday stream where we'll build Porticos live. So you're going to see the actual keyboard then.
Ooh, very fun. Typing
Ooh,
test?
we've
Yeah,
got
I'm assuming there'll be typing tests with those Portico builds too.
It'll be fun, especially since I'm an Ergonomics typer. Struggle a little bit, but
There you go. More fun.
Yep.
Oh, God.
And we've got a Magic Girl build this weekend too. I just got to.
There-
I gotta
there
say
you
it
go.
again.
I actually need to move my Magical Girl set off, Magic Girl set to another keyboard. I wanted to see it on this purple one that I am typing on right now. See how that looks like. I'll show you. Ignore the disconnect sound. That's me. I wanted to see what it looked like on this. Dark Magic Girl would look really nice on this.
oh yeah. I wish we had more than one prototype. Going forward, we're making at least 3 instead of shipping one back and forth between people. So, always
know.
evolving the process.
That's always complicated too from a standpoint of prototyping. I get messages sometimes from other vendors and whatnot, always saying hey, we got these really cool new switches in and we only have 70. Could we ship them to you? Then you ship them to another person. Then ship. And it's man, this is so complicated now. I don't even know if I want to do this. I can definitely understand that. Thomas said, "I'm really late, but wow, hi Mintlodica."
Hello.
All right, guys, we're probably going to wrap it up here. I think my internet's starting to struggle again. I can see it down to 300 kilobytes a second. Put Aether on it? I probably will. But I want to thank Mintlodica so much for coming on, as well as Sharty.
Sharty.
And thank you so much to Mr. Spoos and I almost said Choose. Chase. Wait, other way. Chase. Don't call me Choose again. If you guys want to learn more about Mintlodica, !Mintlodica, or you can join the Keyboard Discord. And if you guys want to join the Discord for myself, you can just type in !Discord. And thank you guys so much for all the follows and everything tonight as well. Appreciate everyone. And even the subs and everything like that too. Appreciate you guys. But for now, we are going to hop off. I'm going to let my internet take a break here because it's struggling. It's really struggling today, guys. And thank you again to Mintlodica. Appreciate
Thanks for
everyone.
having me. Really enjoyed being on Keebcast. Bye.
Aw.
Bite me, 'cause he doesn't want to.
Everyone, take care.